Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, running your fingers through your hair, and suddenly noticed more strands in your hand than usual? At first, you ignore it. You tell yourself it's stress. Maybe your diet. Maybe hormones. Maybe you just need a better shampoo, so you switch products. Then you switch again and again, but nothing really changes. What if I told you the real problem might not be your hair at all? What if the silent enemy has been flowing out of your tap every single day? Yes, your water. This might sound surprising, even unbelievable. After all, water is supposed to be clean. It's supposed to help us, not harm us. But here's the truth no one really talks about. Not all water is hair-friendly. And if you live in a hard water area, your hair could be paying the price without you even realizing it. Hard water is water that contains high levels of minerals, mainly calcium and magnesium. These minerals aren't dangerous to drink, but when it comes to your hair and scalp, they can slowly create serious problems. The scary part: the damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds up quietly, wash after wash. Every time you shampoo your hair with hard water, those minerals stick to your scalp and hair strands. They don't rinse away easily. Instead, they form a thin, invisible layer that coats your hair. Over time, this buildup blocks moisture, blocks nutrients, and even blocks oxygen from reaching your scalp properly. Your scalp is skin. And just like the skin on your face, it needs to breathe. When the scalp can't breathe, hair follicles become weak. Growth slows down. Hair becomes thinner. And shedding increases. This is not instant baldness, but it is progressive damage. The kind that makes you look back one day and say, "My hair used to be so much thicker." Many people confuse this with genetics. Others blame age. Some blame postpartum hair loss or seasonal shedding. But in reality, hard water quietly accelerates all of these problems. Have you ever noticed that no matter how expensive your shampoo is, your hair still feels rough after washing? Or that squeaky clean feeling that actually doesn't feel healthy at all? That's not clean. That's mineral residue, stripping your hair's natural oils. Hard water makes shampoo less effective. It doesn't lather properly, so people end up using more product. That means more chemicals sitting on your scalp, mixed with minerals, creating even more buildup. It's a cycle that keeps getting worse. And let's talk about the emotional side for a moment, because hair loss is not just physical. Hair is confidence. Hair is identity. For many women especially, it's deeply personal. Losing hair can make you feel older than you are, less attractive, less confident. And when you don't know the cause, it feels even more frustrating. You feel helpless, like your body is working against you. The worst part: you're doing everything right. You oil your hair, you mask it, you avoid heat, you buy sulfate-free products, yet your hair still feels dull, dry, lifeless, and thinner. That's when self-doubt creeps in. But here's the relief: you're not failing. Your hair isn't broken. You're just fighting a problem you were never told about. Hard water doesn't just affect your hair strands. It affects your scalp environment. A mineral-coated scalp becomes dry and irritated. That's why many people experience dandruff, itchiness, or tightness even after washing. And when the scalp is unhealthy, hair growth simply cannot thrive. Think of it like trying to grow a plant in soil covered with stones. No matter how good the seed is, it will struggle. Now here's something important, comforting. Hard water hair damage is reversible. Yes, really. Once you remove the mineral buildup and restore your scalp's balance, hair can regain softness, shine, and strength. Hair fall can slow down. Breakage can reduce. And over time, thickness can improve. But the first step is awareness. Understanding that the problem exists. If you live in a city or area known for hard water in many places, this information could completely change your hair journey. Instead of endlessly searching for new products, you'll finally be addressing the root cause. And no, you don't need expensive salon treatments or fancy equipment to start fixing this. Sometimes, the most powerful solutions are the simplest ones when you know how to use them correctly. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how hard water affects your hair, how to recognize the signs early, and most importantly, how to safely remove mineral buildup at home using a simple DIY method that actually works. So if you've been struggling with unexplained hair fall, if your hair feels rough no matter what you do, if you're tired of wasting money on products that don't deliver, stay with me, because what you're about to learn might be the missing piece your hair has been waiting for. And trust me, once you understand this, you'll never look at your shower water the same way again. At this point, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I know if hard water is actually affecting my hair? That's a very fair question. Because the tricky thing about hard water damage is that it doesn't announce itself loudly. It doesn't suddenly make your hair fall out in one day. Instead, it shows up in small, confusing signs most people completely overlook. Let's talk about those signs. And as you listen, be honest with yourself. You might recognize more than one. The first sign is something almost everyone ignores. Your hair never feels truly clean. You wash it, you rinse it, you even wash it twice sometimes. But once your hair dries, it still feels heavy, coated, or oddly stiff, not oily, just off. This happens because mineral residue stays behind on the hair shaft. So even when your hair looks clean, it's actually covered in a thin layer of buildup. The second sign is extreme dryness that no product seems to fix. You apply conditioner, you use masks, you oil your hair regularly, yet your hair still feels dry and rough, especially at the ends. That's because hard water minerals block moisture from entering the hair strand. The products you're using can't penetrate properly. It's not that the products are bad, it's that they're being blocked. Another very common sign is increased hair fall during washing and combing. Yes, some hair fall is normal, but when you start seeing clumps in the drain or too many strands on your pillow, it's your scalp sending a warning signal. Hard water weakens the hair at the root by disrupting the scalp's natural balance. Over time, hair becomes more fragile and sheds more easily. Now let's talk about a sign that causes a lot of confusion: dandruff and itchy scalp. Many people think dandruff automatically means a dry scalp or fungal issue. But in hard water areas, dandruff often comes from mineral buildup irritating the scalp. Your scalp feels tight, itchy, sometimes even sore. You scratch, which damages the follicles further, and the cycle continues. Here's another sign that surprises people: your hair products stop working. The shampoo that once made your hair soft suddenly doesn't. The oil that used to give shine now does nothing. This isn't because your hair has gotten used to the product. It's because mineral buildup creates a barrier. Imagine trying to moisturize your skin while wearing gloves. That's what your hair is experiencing. You might also notice loss of shine and natural movement. Hair affected by hard water often looks dull, flat, and lifeless. It doesn't bounce. It doesn't flow. It just hangs. That glossy, healthy look disappears slowly. So you don't notice it until you compare old photos and realize something has changed. Another subtle but important sign is frizz that gets worse after washing. Normally, washing should make hair smoother, but with hard water, hair becomes more porous and rough. So instead of calming frizz, water actually makes it worse. Humidity becomes your enemy, and your hair feels impossible to manage. Now let's talk about something emotional for a moment: thinning over time. Hard water doesn't usually cause sudden bald spots. What it does is far more sneaky. It slowly weakens hair growth cycles. New hair grows thinner. Old hair falls faster. The ponytail becomes smaller. The parting looks wider. And one day you notice your scalp showing more than it used to. That moment hurts. Because thinning hair doesn't just change how you look, it changes how you feel. You start tying your hair differently. You avoid certain hairstyles. You feel less confident in photos. And all of this happens without you fully understanding why. Here's the important thing I want you to hear clearly. If you are experiencing these signs, it does not mean your hair is ruined. It means your hair is reacting to its environment. And the good news: once you identify the problem, you can fix it. Hard water damage is not permanent, but ignoring it makes it worse. Many people waste years switching shampoos, trying expensive treatments, even considering supplements when the real issue is sitting in their bathroom pipes. The moment you remove mineral buildup and restore a healthy scalp environment, hair behaves differently. It responds. It recovers. So if, as you listen to this, you're nodding your head, if you're thinking, "This sounds exactly like my hair," take a deep breath. You're not alone, and you're not out of options. In the next part of this video, we're going to talk about the solution. Not a complicated one, not an expensive one, but a simple, science-backed DIY method that helps remove hard water minerals safely and effectively. A method that gives your hair a fresh start. So don't go anywhere, because what comes next might be the most important step you've ever taken for your hair health. Now that you understand what hard water is doing to your hair, let's talk about the solution, because this is the part that gives people real hope. And I want to be very clear from the start. You do not need expensive salon treatments, chemical detoxes, or fancy equipment to fix this problem. What your hair needs is something much simpler, gentler, and smarter. This is where a chelation rinse comes in. The word chelation might sound complicated, but the idea behind it is actually very simple. Chelation means binding and removing minerals. In this case, we're talking about the calcium and magnesium that stick to your hair and scalp when you wash with hard water. A chelation rinse works by gently loosening those minerals and washing them away, giving your hair a clean slate again. And the best part? You can do this at home. One of the safest and most effective natural chelating ingredients is something many of you already have in your kitchen. When used correctly, it helps break down mineral buildup without stripping your hair or irritating your scalp. This is not a harsh treatment. It's a reset. Here's how you do it. You start with clean, damp hair. This is important. Always shampoo first to remove surface dirt and oil. Don't skip this step. After shampooing, gently squeeze out excess water from your hair. Now, apply your DIY chelation rinse evenly to your scalp and hair lengths. Focus especially on the scalp, because that's where most of the mineral buildup sits. Massage it gently, no aggressive rubbing. Think of it as waking your scalp up, not scrubbing it. Let the rinse sit for a few minutes. This waiting time matters. This is when the minerals begin to loosen and detach from your hair and scalp. You might feel a slight tingling sensation, and that's normal. It means the rinse is working. After a few minutes, rinse thoroughly with plain water. Take your time here. You want to wash away everything that was lifted from your hair. Once you rinse, follow with a good conditioner or hair mask. This step is non-negotiable. Chelation removes buildup, but your hair still needs moisture. Conditioning seals the cuticle and restores softness immediately. Now here's something very important, and I need you to listen carefully. This is not an everyday treatment. Using a chelation rinse too often can overclean your hair, which leads to dryness. For most people, once every 2 to 4 weeks is enough. If your water is extremely hard, once every 2 weeks may help at first, but always observe how your hair responds. More is not better. Smarter is better. After the first wash, many people notice their hair feels lighter, softer, less coated. Some describe it as their hair finally being able to breathe again. That's not imagination. That's buildup being removed. Within a week or two, you may notice less hair fall during washing and combing. Your scalp may feel calmer, less itchy, less tight. Over time, shine starts to return. Hair responds better to oils and masks. Styling becomes easier, but let's set realistic expectations. This is not a miracle overnight cure. Hair grows in cycles. Thickness takes time. What this rinse does is remove the obstacle that was blocking progress. Once the obstacle is gone, your hair finally has the chance to heal. Now let's talk about common mistakes, because avoiding these will make all the difference. The first mistake is using the rinse too frequently. This comes from impatience. Trust the process. Give your hair time. The second mistake is skipping conditioner afterward. Chelation without moisture can leave hair feeling rough. Always follow with hydration. The third mistake is thinking this alone will fix everything. Chelation is a foundation. Supporting it with gentle shampoos, light oiling, and scalp care is what brings long-term results. And here's one more thing many people overlook. If you continue washing daily with hard water, mineral buildup will slowly return. That doesn't mean the rinse failed. It simply means maintenance is necessary. Some people choose to add a shower filter later. Others rely on periodic chelation. Both are valid. What matters is that now, you're in control. You're no longer guessing. You're no longer blaming yourself. You understand what your hair needs and why. If you've struggled with unexplained hair fall, dryness, dullness, or thinning, this could be the turning point in your hair journey. Not because your hair was weak, but because it was overwhelmed. And once you remove what's weighing it down, hair does what it's meant to do. It grows, it strengthens, it shines. If this video helped you understand your hair better, take a moment to like it. It helps more people find answers they didn't even know they were looking for. Share it with someone who's been struggling silently with hair issues. And if you want the exact DIY recipe, timing, and tips based on your hair type, drop a comment below and let me know. Your hair deserves care, not confusion. And now you finally have clarity.